Hey guys, it's Coach Gaglione here from GaglioneStrength.com. We got another strong lady on the line today. Cass, how you doing today?
Good, John. How are you?
Great. Well, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. For those of the people that are watching or listening that don't know who you are, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you got going on right now?
All right. I'm Cassandra Forsyth. I live in Connecticut. I'm originally from Canada, and I am an assistant professor of exercise science and nutrition at CCSU, which is Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut. Hard hit New Britain. Everyone knows what that is. And I've been doing this now for 3 years, working as a professor. Prior to that, I owned my own facility for 5 years. And then before that, I was doing my PhD and master's and RD and all my education. I'm an author. I've written and co-written 3 books now. One I just finished, and I'm working on a proposal for another. I've written textbooks. I've written journal publications. I've done research. I am an advocate for strength training for women. I do a lot of public speaking. I created the Women's Fitness Summit, so I've done a lot, and I continue to keep doing a lot.
Cool. We even spoken alongside each other, which is really fun. So
yes.
Good time.
I met you at SUNY Cortland. You were speaking there.
And we shared green tea ice cream together, which was the best. There's so much fat burning going on.
We should eat it now, actually, like while we're talking. It'd be amazing.
Oh my god, that'd be great. So joking aside, Cass has been a great speaker, source of information for women for many years. So really excited to have her on today. She's going to spread a lot of knowledge for you guys. So I want to rewind a little bit. So you've done a lot. You've been in this kind of industry for a little bit. How did you actually get started strength training initially, and then what kind of made you kind of choose the path of kind of like becoming in the fitness industry and kind of being this kind of like authority for like women's like training?
So when I was 11 years old, I wanted to be an American Gladiator.
Nice.
I used to watch American Gladiator. I think it was on at like 10 o'clock or something, and then Roller Jam was on after or something, or 11 o'clock at midnight, like when I was that age. I'm turning 37 in 2 weeks, so if that puts an age range on people here, but so a couple decades ago. So I've always loved muscle, and then I competed as a gymnast, not very high level, but I did compete on a level of gymnastics. I've always just loved muscle and loved how it looked, and I really admire muscular bodies. So I got into strength training actually after I was told to quit gymnastics. So I have a spondylolisthesis. I have a break in my L5-S1, and I have a herniation at L4, and my facet joints on the left side are bone on bone. So I have a really messed up back. I have a grade 3 spondy, actually. It looks pretty shitty on an x-ray. It's gross. So I was told to quit gymnastics when I was 15, and have been watching my spondy since then. But first I originally just started just being a badass and didn't know what to do with myself, and then decided I wanted to get into weightlifting. So I started lifting weights and getting into like bodybuilding and physique and figure competitions. And so weights for me has always been a way to maintain my physique, maintain a healthy body composition, but being strong has always been a goal for me. So I always wanted to be able to lift my own body weight and now bench press my own body weight. I can't do a lot with, say, back squatting or deadlifting because of my spine, but I do that very well. Like I can goblet squat a 100-pound dumbbell and stuff like that. So I feel pretty accomplished for what I can do. I don't think I'll ever compete in powerlifting like you, John, or some of your people, but that's, again, the limitation of my spine. Like I'd love to be able to deadlift a lot of weight, but my spine just won't let me do that. So I got into it for me and my health and my body. So it's really my back pain. I manage it with weightlifting. So that's kind of my story, how I got into it. And I've just continued to be a huge advocate. I was one of the first T-Vixens on T-Nation, which was the girl that has muscle. I've written a lot of articles for Oxygen Magazine, Women's Health Magazine, about women lifting weights and lifting as much as guys do. And I was the co-author of The New Rules of Lifting for Women, which our original title was supposed to be Lift Like a Man, Look Like a Goddess. So I was one of the original like women in the weight room, and I still am like some of the only, like in the gym I go to, like just last night, I was the only woman in the weight room benching, like in the whole room. There's no other girls. Like some come there and do some stuff, but it's still not as common as we'd like it to be. It's getting better, but not as common.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you go to, and I think people like kind of gravitate toward the groups where they can kind of feel comfortable and stuff. But yeah, there's still a lot of gyms where maybe the women are only on like the the cardio machines or whatever, and they're not like on the weight side. So that's really cool. So you've done a lot. Was there ever like a defining moment where you're like, I don't want to just like kind of dabble in this. I really want to take my training and like just my expertise to the next level and actually kind of help people and like really kind of like I said, you're like a huge advocate. Something like the Women's Fitness Summit. It's like a huge seminar, huge like kind of deal, and doing all these books and speaking engagements. Like, was there like a deciding factor? You're like, this is like what I was born to do, and like this is like what I'm going to be doing, and I really want to make a difference in like people's lives. And
yeah, I mean, I've always had a drive for greatness. I've always wanted to do more than just average. Like even in school, I always had really good grades. I was like an A+ student, and I wanted to know that knowledge in order to pass it on. So my original quest in school was to be a dietitian because I found that food was healing. So the physician heal thyself, kind of saying that I had gone to a doctor, had some like health problems, and the only way I fixed it was like with changing my diet, and I wanted to be able to share that with other people, the power of nutrition. And then I got also into the power of exercise. So my degrees are actually both in nutrition and exercise science, and I teach exercise science primarily now in a college setting, plus some nutrition as well. I've always wanted to be able to motivate and inspire people. I've always been a leader. I've always been that person that stood out from the crowd. I'm humble. I don't like stand up there and brag like, oh, I'm so great. But I've always just naturally been someone that knew more than others. And I'm not saying that like to be pompous at all, but like I just can grasp things and then help people understand it more than other people can. And I'm not scared to get up in front of a room of people. Well, at least not anymore. I still get a little nervous, but I'm not scared to get up and share what I have learned with others and my experiences. And I just know I guess I know I've always been meant to do this. I was like never the popular girl in school. Like I got picked on a lot, but I guess it just motivated me and pushed me to be like the best and like better than people that had put me down at one point in my life. And I said, no, I'm not to spite them, but to just say that I'm resilient and I can get through like a lot of challenges and share that and with other people to motivate and inspire them to do great things with their lives.
Do you have any advice for people that maybe like you said, like I have kind of a similar kind of story and stuff with that regard, like maybe you kind of didn't really fit in initially, but like if maybe you're not getting that support initially, but you really have this like kind of big goal or big dream, like what advice do you have for people starting out and they maybe have like this kind of big goal and they're not really sure like where to start, or maybe they're not getting the support at home or support from their peers? What advice can you give to somebody that's like looking to kind of advance their career or advance their training or whatever it is, they have this kind of big goal that they're looking to achieve?
I mean, definitely education, formal education is still incredibly important. Like, I know a lot of people are doing this self-taught education, which is good, but I mean, you still have to show that you can be disciplined enough to go through school. I mean, I did 12 years of education straight. Like, I have a PhD in RD, and because of my credentials and because of how hard I push myself, I get asked to do things a lot of people don't get asked to do.
Sure.
Even though they have the same kind of experiences I do, but not that PhD side. So formal education, I do feel, is really important, and it did it. I mean, I traveled across countries to go do my PhD. I live in a place where I have no family. It's that sort of resilience and adversity that you can get through that makes you a stronger person when you're faced with things that are challenging. I mean, I have doubts, and I don't think I'm like the best of everyone, but I know I'm really great. And I've come to that realization, and people will tell me all the time, you're like wicked smart, and I'm starting to accept that, but I've really had to work to get to that place of wicked smart. I think even when I was younger, I thought I was smarter than I was now. Now I'm like I know there's a lot of really brilliant people out there, but those are the people you collaborate with and interact with and share knowledge with and learn from and know that you're on the same team. So my advice is get formal education and network. Like, I am known as like the queen of networking. Like, I have so many connections. Like, if someone's like, oh, I need someone who knows about this, or a trainer over here, or a nutritionist over here, I'm like, I know them, and I can reach out to them. And I've gone to a lot of conferences. Like, I'm always at social events. I'm always out there meeting people. I'm not afraid to walk up to people and introduce myself and make that human interaction. And in these days of email and text message, that has been lost. Sure. And I think I've had some really great connections because of the human interaction I've had with people, like shaking their hand and hanging out with them and like being with them in a real human form is pretty cool. So that would, I would say, connections and education are like, networking is like a huge thing.
Yeah, I want to just kind of reiterate that kind of idea of getting the education. You know, I'm like 10 years plus into coaching and powerlifting, and I still go to seminars, even though I host my own, even though I'm speaking. Like, you can always get better. I think having that white belt mentality, like always looking to learn, always looking to kind of push yourself a little further, and then like actually going to these live events and actually meeting these people, traveling. You know, I've been to, like I said, all over too, and you know, you got to invest the time and the money, and actually kind of when you start to meet these people, like you said, you never know like where it's going to lead you or like what doors that's going to open, kind of down the road. So I think that's like really good advice. So the next, we talked about adversity a little bit. One question I always like to ask people: have you dealt with any adversity, some setbacks, whether it be in your training or just your career? How did you kind of face it, and then what did you do to kind of overcome those obstacles?
So setbacks in training, I mean, I have a broken spine. That's a huge setback. I have learned how to manage it with the right workout. So, I mean, I used to be in so much pain and I used to not be able to sleep at night. And I learned that back squats and heavy deadlifts were my nemesis. So I had to totally steer away from those. I've tried to kind of pick up my deadlifts a little bit more recently, but it just ends up setting me back. So I just know what I'm not supposed to do and just sort of, you know, eat my humble pie and keep going with it. You know, like it's okay to not do those things, but I'm good at other things. My brother broke my arm when I was 4. So this one elbow, actually, I've had the ulnar nerve moved on it because the bones are twisted on this side different than this side. And I have to have the nerve moved again because I can't feel this part of my arm very well when I'm doing pull-ups now. So I'm going to be going back in for surgery. But when I had that surgery, I was out for a couple weeks, and then I got back in. I've had several surgeries, like intestinal surgery. I had a foot of my colon taken out. I was out of the gym for only 2 weeks, and then I thought I was like awesome enough to get back in. And when I went back in, I couldn't push the bar off my chest to save my life for a bench press. I tried doing a box jump. I totally failed and like ate the box and like cut like half my leg off basically. And the strength coach at the time just looked at me and said, "Are you done? Like, get out of my gym," kind of thing. And then I slept for like a month and then finally got back into it. But that took like a good year of rehab with my core to get my strength and everything back again. I mean, I've had, you know, just the same kind of adversities as everyone else, surgeries, injuries, and whatnot. And I just have pushed, I guess, to keep going. And like I said, the biggest one for me is my back. I'm in pain almost all the time, but I've just got a very high pain tolerance, and I've learned how to mitigate it with the right movements and the right exercises. And I move all the time. And I'm actually very thankful for my spine because it reminds me that I can never, ever get out of shape, that I can never reduce my core strength, that I'm going to need to stay like a reasonable body weight my whole life. I just can't get lazy and gain a bunch of weight sitting on the couch eating green tea ice cream. Not like that will ever make you fat, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I am thankful for this because I've learned a lot from it. I'm hypermobile. I have flat feet. I've torn ligaments in my ankles. Like, you know, and then in terms of other adversity, like I did a PhD. Like anyone who's done a PhD will tell you, like that's like, it's incredibly difficult to, I don't know, like 5 years. Like you look at it, you're like 5 years of this I have to do. And I went to a different country to do it. So that was super challenging, like not knowing anyone and being really lonely. I went through a divorce. That was probably even the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. My in-laws didn't speak to me because that's just the way they were. Like, oh, you're not married to our son anymore, or whatever, nephew. You're not in our family. So, and I am a part-time. I have a daughter, so the adversity of being a parent and still trying to achieve things in life without being selfish towards me, because now I have to give to myself to a child. So there's lots, and that's life. And, I'm always learning and getting better every day. I'll never say I'm perfect at any of it, but no one is. We all just kind of keep figuring it out as we go along and share that with others so that they can learn from our experiences and hopefully, see when it happens to them that it's normal and it's okay.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, and especially with some of the injury stuff, but the life stuff too. One quote I always tell my clients is you either win or you learn. So anytime you fail, if you can kind of learn from that experience and kind of take that and kind of get better with it, like I said, whether it be injuries or like you said, some personal issues, there's always some positive in it, and then you can kind of learn from that and get better and kind of move forward. Everyone has setbacks. No one's perfect. I think we all kind of try to be, we think that we have to be perfect all the time, but that's just not realistic, and it's totally okay to fail, and as long as you kind of learn from your mistakes, there's nothing wrong with that. So,
right.
Really
and
cool.
Stop something, it's not failure. If you realize it's not working for you, that's not failure. That's being smart. For me to say I'm not going to back squat anymore and not back squatting doesn't make me a failure. It just makes me makes me aware of the fact that that's not working for me. And I don't miss back. I do miss deadlifting. I wish I could do it really heavy, and I get envious of women that can lift a lot of weight. But I just look at it and I'm like, good for them. I'll continue to do something else.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing we always say too is focus on what you can do, not what you can't. So like I said, if you crush the goblet squats and hip thrusts and bench press, and that's what works for you, then hey, you can do pretty great with that. And then even with powerlifting, what's really cool about powerlifting is you could do a push pull, or you could do a single lift, or a bench only, or a deadlift only. And as you get older, maybe people can't squat, or maybe people can't deadlift, but there's always something that you can do to get better, whether it be training or life. So I think that's a really good lesson. So kind of moving forward, next question, because being the women's strength authority that you are, I wanted just to talk to you about some common myths and kind of what are some things that maybe are still maybe to us that or we kind of know about, some common myths for women's strength training. What are some things that maybe some advice you can kind of give to ladies of things that they should not be worried about, and some things that you can kind of tell them about just kind of maybe things you hear in the magazines that just aren't true, and things like that pertaining to women lifting weights.
Well, okay, so there's this, people say, oh, women are getting big and bulky if they lift weights. Okay. Women will get muscle if they lift weights, and to some women that may look bulky. So every individual person's view of a body is their own.
Sure.
If a woman finds that having larger muscles makes her personally, in her mind, look bulky, that's her choice. So if you're going to lift weights, you are going to increase your muscle size. If you're going to squat, your legs are going to increase in diameter. You are going to gain quads and hamstrings and glutes. If you don't want that, if you want a stick body, and not that there's anything wrong with it, but if that's the physique that you want, you're not probably going to lift extremely heavy unless you have the genetics that make you look like a thin person. And then when you put on muscle, you're going to just still be fairly lean with some muscle on. I'm thinking of Ben Bruno's training some female Hollywood stars, but they have the genetics of very thin. I will not deny that my body, my arms, my legs, as I put more muscle on, they get bigger. They're muscular big, but they're bigger, and there's nothing wrong with it, and I like that. Like I said, I wanted to look like an American Gladiator at one point in my life, and I know that at this point now that takes a lot of chemical enhancement, unless I had the genetics for that.
Sure.
But I appreciate what I have for muscle and the size of my biceps and things like that. But so I just want to the myth that people say, oh, women can't get big and bulky. Well, they can. They can get big and bulky, but it's a good big and bulky, and the bulky is in each person's definition of bulky is different. And so if someone doesn't want muscles, then they don't need to weight train, or they don't need to weight train really heavy, and they can do kind of the Tracy Anderson method. There's room for it all, and I'm not against any of it. What we're really trying to achieve is longevity with a healthy lifestyle and healthy body as long as we can. So, a healthy longevity is what I should say, because longevity is long. But anyway, so a healthy longevity. So whatever that is to you, that's fine. I don't discriminate about what you want to achieve and look like. I know what I'm going to look like and what I like to achieve, so that's my goal. I'm trying to make my calves look bigger right now, and that's my choice. Some people may think that's gross, but I want them to want it to be hard to take my jeans off them. My calves are so cute.
There you go. That's why I just don't wear pants like ever. That's just, it's just shorts year rounds. But yeah, totally. Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to like what's your goal. And as always, you can always manipulate the volume, intensity, frequency, exercise selection to kind of meet that. But I do think like what you think, strength training does have its place. I think in everything, it just depends on how much time you're going to spend on it, what exercises, and like I said, how hard are you going to push? Are you going to try to, if you're a competitive powerlifter, then yeah, you're going to have to like lift heavy. If you just want to like lose a little bit of weight and get a little leaner, then there's a lot of like room in between to tweak. And there's no like exercise that you have to do unless you're in a competition where that exercise is a movement that so like I said, whether it be like, so if you're not a powerlifter, like you could do a bodyweight squat or a kettlebell squat or a dumbbell squat, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think just the fact that, but yeah, very cool. So for you got a lot of stuff going on. You're a teacher now. What are like if someone was kind of like on the fence of just getting involved in exercise and training and not really sure like where to start, what advice could you give some women that are just kind of just starting out and maybe they're afraid to go to the gym or they're not really sure like what program they should be doing? What advice would you give them?
I would say to hire a qualified trainer for sure. Have someone that knows what they're doing, and I mean, trainers are getting better and better nowadays. I mean, at the big box gym, sometimes there are new people out of school, and that's not saying they're bad or anything, because they could be extremely knowledgeable or caring at least. You need to have someone there with you to show you how to do things correctly for your body, and also give you modifications if you can't figure it out. Regressions and then progressions, and then show you how to set the foundation and then build from there. So having a good base of stability and base strength, and then building from there into, if your goal is hypertrophy or more strength or power or whatever it may be. So hiring a good trainer, and then reading a lot. So there's a lot of free information online on a lot of different websites, girl-specific information, powerlifting-specific information. Read a lot. Get to know the lingo, get to know the terminology, get to know how the body works, understand joints, understand muscle insertions, the way the muscles move in the body, which muscles move which parts of the body. So just getting knowledgeable is great. Like, knowledge is power, and you don't need to be a minion and just follow. But if you do follow someone, at least know, you're following someone that actually is good at what they're doing versus someone that's just like making it up on the fly. And as you get more knowledgeable, you'll see the differences in a good instructor versus a poor instructor who just kind of throws exercises together without any rhyme or reason.
I think that's really good advice. Like, just number one, like, ask for help, hire a coach, but also like, don't be afraid to like ask, hey, well, why are we doing this exercise, or why? Like, it's okay to like ask questions and actually be knowledgeable about like why the program is set up the way it is, and like why the exercise. One thing I take a lot of pride in, if we kind of get our program out, I could tell you exactly why things are why the order is this, and why we have this exercise here, and why we're doing this movement, for this person. And I think every coach should be able to do that. So I think that's really, really important. So we're going to close out soon, but you could stay on after we stop the recording. Thank you so much, Cass, for coming on. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure catching up with you. If maybe people want to like check out your book, or they want to follow you, where can people like learn more about like what you're doing and all that?
On Facebook, you can ask friend me on Facebook. Just kind of like say who you are, or send me a message too at the same time, because I don't add everybody. Sometimes I just wonder why people are adding me. Slow down on just like accepting everybody. My website, I do need to update it, but just like you can Google my name, and I've got articles coming out. The next book that's coming out is called Take It All Off, Keep It Off. Leslie Rockford is the author, and then I wrote the nutrition and strength program for that, and then I'm working on another book on FODMAPs, the FODMAPs diet and weight eating. So for all the stuff is through Rodale. So, and then I've got a lot of content on Girls Gone Strong, which I was an advisory board member for, and I've got some articles on there. So that's kind of how I found Google or Bing or whatever.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Cass. Definitely show Cass some love. You can drop a comment below. Check out the websites. Check out the book. I know, like, the New Rules of Lifting for Women is a great resource, too. If you're kind of not really sure, like, where to start and you want to just maybe do some kind of workouts on your own before maybe kind of jump into like whether it be powerlifting or whatever else you may want to do. It's a great like kind of resource for people kind of starting out and they want to kind of get into strength training. So if this podcast helped you, please share it. Give us a 5-star review. Helps other people find us so we can help more women all over the place. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.